Hey, how's it going? This is how I actually am. I'm gonna turn the light on. This is how I actually am. I don't know about the way my body looks. That's been a struggle for 2 years. My body. Um, this is how I act or am. I don't have any mental problems at all. There's nothing wrong with me. I used to have anxiety. Um, However, Danica has, or did, in the past cause problems for me. Danica in the past caused problems for me. Um, Here's what she did. This, now try to think of what this would do to any human being. I started a family with her. I got married. I had a goal and something I was working at in Los Angeles. I had a goal and something I was working at in Los Angeles to be really famous for my work in film. And it has stressed me out so much for 2 years. I have felt like everything about me has been a tremendous struggle to maintain good health, good physical fitness, my looks, looking the way I want to look. It's been a tremendous amount of effort just for 2 years because of what Danica did. And it's not her fault. Don't hurt her. She doesn't know any better. We both sinned when we were younger. So here's how, I went out to Los Angeles to be famous, to be famous for my work as a lead singer, like a rock star. But I was afraid to say when I was younger, so I just went to a bunch of school to learn all the art behind making an entire movie, making all the music, art, creative writing, screenwriting, anything creative or artistic. I thought I'd be the best ever in the world. I was so confident in my abilities. So I was really confident in my abilities with that. So I went out there to be number one on earth and in the universe. I thought, but I was afraid to say I want to be a lead. I like being a lead singer. I like singing. Like there's things you like to do that you're good at. So I played music. I played guitar, drums, and all that stuff. So I went out there to be really famous for my work, but I had to tell my mom and dad and friends and stuff, oh, I'm being a filmmaker, but you couldn't really talk about what your real goals were. Of course I wanted to, it would have been awesome to be like Quentin Tarantino back then, who was one of my favorites. I don't know what he does now, and maybe he's good or bad. I really found God in Jesus now. But that's what I went out there to do, and she did too. We felt like we couldn't stay in our towns, and God had us go out to Los Angeles. I was 19, she was 20. And we went out there, and we started working on movies and stuff. And I was more of like behind the scenes, learned how to do all the real stuff, the filmmaking, directing and stuff, not a stagehand, not somebody who's a video camera operator, someone who creates all the art instead of just shows up in front of camera and talks. However, showing up in front of camera and talking is an art form, and it's called acting, and people are really good at it, and it can be brilliant and good, really good work in acting. You can look at every line of the script and study it and know what the original writer had intended for it, and be as kind and godly and good and Jesus-like as you can. And that's one of the reasons I put all the God and Jesus stuff. I want to do that. I want to help my kids be okay and be a good father to them. I want to be not a helper to them. My wife was, or she's not even my wife. I don't know if she's, but that's been a problem that she's had them there in Texas, and that's caused me tremendous stress and difficulty because I had that goal of the thing that I wanted to do. Other jobs made me sad. And that's how God created me or made me, you know. Working at a regular job at, uh, you know, after I got into California, it just made me feel sad and depressed and made my body hurt more and not feel as good. And I didn't like the way it felt to my body to work at regular jobs. That's just one thing. And the problem was that she wanted, you know, she wanted to settle down and have kids before she was 30. She wanted to get married and have kids, and I wasn't ready. But she's, you know, would have left me. She said she'd leave me and find another husband if I didn't marry her. And I couldn't live without her. I missed her and loved her so much to be apart. And it just felt so bad inside to be away from her. And she helped me to get more money from my mom and dad when I was going to school, so I had a better living situation, like a bigger apartment, and everything felt okay. And without her, you know, my parents, my mom and dad wanted me to live on like $200 a month in Los Angeles. And with Danica, somehow with us together, I could get a $1,500 a month apartment, you know, and it was okay. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. It was small. I think it was a it was a 1-bedroom apartment. And so, you know, it was easier. It was easier with her to stand up for me and believe in me. And it has not been easy working for my mom and dad. I had to do so much work on this home. You know, the money they gave me, they wanted me to work. They had a plan for me to work. First, I had to go to all this school, which is a tremendous amount of work, because I got a scholarship to one of the best film schools there is. And, you know, for those people who think that I'm crazy or something, you know, that was an act. That was because I had 30 cups of coffee is one of the reasons. Not always the reason. And because she has the kids in Texas, and because I kept trying to hold on to the hope of being a family with them, you know, and she hasn't been interested in me. She hasn't shown interest in me. I can't even tell people that I'm supposed to keep quiet about that she hasn't really shown me love for 8 years, or almost 8 years. About 8 years ago, she showed me more love then. And, you know, well, she did show me love in Texas. She went bowling with us and, you know, said, praise God, praise Jesus, and started saying the Jesus stuff that I was saying, so that was pretty good. There's a chance of it working, but I don't know if that was real, or if she kept doing that after I left, or if she was just doing it just as a thing to, she was saying the blood of Jesus ball. Here's the blood of Jesus ball. And I could bowl with that, and it was like, oh, okay, it was okay to bowl with it. Because I was suffering through the things that I had looked at on the internet, like women on the internet, well, you know, just women on the internet. And lust. So to see the fingers going into a bowling ball gave me a little bit of anxiety. I was like, oh no, it's in front of the kids, and I had to act like that stupid ass way, you know. And she said it was okay. It's a blood of Jesus ball, and that made everything okay. I was like, oh, that's everything is good and okay because it's Jesus. So then I was able to bowl with the ball without having to worry about the fingers doing something. And so then I've written her, I just can't even say. I had enough of it though. It's not been easy. So I jumped off the bandwagon of suffering just earlier before this video. I kind of, okay, yesterday, the past few days, and weeks, but mostly the past few days and weeks, it has felt like Danica and her mother and father telling me, well, her dad got nicer about it, but like I got thoughts of them because of this stressful situation. You'll get them saying, you'll get cancer, you'll die of cancer. All these different ways trying to say that I would get cancer. And this kombucha, I got all of them. I got them like $300 something worth of kombucha because I was excited about kombucha and I thought they could fast on it. They'd fast on it, and the boys would be able to fast on it. And I couldn't see how it would hurt anyone. But it is Chinese, ancient Chinese culture. So politically, people are going to say, I don't trust that Chinese or something. So of course, they try to say, there's something wrong with it because it's not like pure white enough or something. And I try to fucking feel. And, I don't know. I mean, some of the country stuff is okay, of course, whatever. It's okay. I just don't know what to say about it, But here's what happened because of it. I got them like $300 something of kombucha. I got me a bunch of kombucha, 200 something, maybe more. I don't know, 200 something, 180, 200 something of kombucha for me, 300 something for them. And I thought it was healthy. It doesn't have added sugar. I couldn't see how it would hurt anyone. And it started hurting my body and making me feel sick. And I didn't know why, and it went on for a few days, and I was worried I'd get cancer and die from the kombucha because I was fasting. I was fasting on the kombucha, and it felt like I was gonna die, and felt like I was dying from drinking this kombucha fast, and I got her $300 something of it. The kids, but it's good. It's kombucha. It was because I got a thought from her mother after a few days of suffering at it. Wine of cancer is what he drinks. She is like really American. Like her father talks like this. He won't eat Mexican food, and he lives in Texas. That's how white he is. And, he's a really good man. I think he's going to make it to heaven almost for sure. I love him. But, and he was always kind to me. But there's something that God did to introduce me to them, to show so he was never mean to me about being Italian. Because I had black hair. I had really black hair. And it was never an issue with him. He's really good. And I know Danica's grandmother made it to heaven. I think. I don't know. From what I could see of her, I don't know. But God will judge her. So I don't really know. God will judge all of us. We don't really know who makes it to heaven. But I had a good feeling. How could she be bad? I've never, but maybe she was mean to other people in ways I didn't know, but I can't see how she wouldn't make it to heaven. And so they raised Danica's, and Danica's grandfather's good, and they raised Danica's mom. And Danica's mom, I got the thought after we were drinking all this kombucha, and I got them tons of kombucha, it'll be a kombucha fast. Had no added sugar. And her mom is way into added sugar, a little bit processed foods, really American food, like a hamburger with French fries and ketchup. It's got to be ketchup because it's got to be the real American white ways of, just it's just really American food, and the way Danica's grandparents ate was very country, macaroni and cheese, and it doesn't have any of that burned stuff on it. They don't want anything black anywhere near it. That causes cancer. There's people in New York City, maybe they get cancer, and all their food was so white. All their food was so white, and like barely cooked at all that her mom ate, but it was good. It was healthy. From her grandfather, it was very healthy, good food. It was just how he ate, and he was kind about it. He was never mean to me about it, her grandfather. But I got the thought from her mom, wine of cancer is what he drinks. Like almost like a witch. And it was after I got them all that kombucha and they saw it in their house. And her mom goes there all the time. She lives like right down the street from them. And so it's fucking, I don't mean to curse, it's kombucha. It's kombucha because it has to have added sugar or a fake added sugar to it. And many of them have diabetes, but they don't understand why, and they like added sugar. They have to have added sugar and everything. Oh, sugar. But I don't know. But it's like, I don't understand why, but they're good people, but I got the thought from her mom, she was trying to give me cancer for many days out of her hatred and anger of me. Her hatred of me. She hates me, I think. I think her mother really hates me. I don't understand why. And she hates my mom. And she kind of thinks my dad's okay, but she doesn't care if he dies. She wants if all of us died here, she'd feel like such a relief that, she didn't have to think about us anymore. So to see that I bought them food and it showed up all in their house, she got really angry and was doing her kind of witch act and stuff. Like on Halloween, she would dress as this like old-timey queen who's a killer who like put on all this white makeup and black eyes and she has little witch characters and stuff at Halloween. She got way into the Halloween stuff. And she believes in God and Jesus. But she's a little, I think she's kind of crazy. And I know she wants me to die, but at the same time, she'll show me love and cry about how good things I do are and stuff. And that's just like kind of how it is being around her. And it's just, I couldn't take that anymore for like a few days now. And before this video, I kind of had a fantasy about being with some other woman. And after I did, this rain came down and rained really hard. It was dark. It was like almost dark. It was almost dark outside. And it's still rain. It's not really raining now, but I couldn't keep taking it. There's about a week ago, I kept getting a thought from her and her mother and her dad, but her dad's been nice to me now. Like, I kept getting a thought from them, you'll die of cancer. And it felt like I kept getting a thought from them, like everywhere I went, like, and finally I just said, I couldn't take it anymore and I wanted to be at peace and dead or in heaven. I couldn't take living that way with them. It felt like they're so mean to me. And I said out loud in the kitchen, I I have cancer. I'm dying. I have cancer. And then I got a feeling it'll be okay. And then the sun came out. And it was beautiful outside. And it felt like, I didn't know if I'd live or die, but I was so happy to be at peace, to finally be in heaven and not have to go through what they put me through. And then this beautiful thing happened for me forgiving, because I forgave them. And I wasn't mean back to them when they kept telling me to get cancer. And it's been that kind of difficulty to try to get back with her and the kids. And I don't know how else to be there for the kids. And she keeps them there. and like her, but I don't want them to be hurt. You know, Danica doesn't. I don't want Danica to get cancer or anything. I've never done anything mean to her. That I've never done anything. I think I've never done anything mean to her other than when I couldn't take it anymore. I went and imagined being with other women. Usually, you know, one usually one at a time, but I went crazy after this, and I think I fantasized about something different that was two women instead of one. And so, you know, it's been crazy. It's been, and that was the worst, and that was to not die from them killing my body, you know. And before that, the reason why I did that was because I got the thought, suffering in this house in the bed, crying for, you know, she lusted. I got these clear thoughts of what she was doing. She lusted. I don't know if it's for whatever reason. You know, I've been all alone. I've been celibate for 5 years. I haven't been with anyone in real life. She hasn't been with anyone in real life, so maybe it's okay. But I got the thought she had lusted. She had a fantasy about jacking off Al of all people, my friend. And my friend Stefan, I shouldn't say, who, I don't know what they were thinking. And it's just, I don't know if I can even be friends with them anymore. My friend Jevin, Corey, the next door neighbor, any random man that I was kind to and showed kindness to and love in a Jesus-like way, who I wasn't even thinking about sex. I was just kind to another human being in a kind, good way. And then she'd want to have sex with that person almost instantly and make me feel like a gay cuckold faggot who's nothing I can do. She'd try to make, and it felt like a little feeling to my penis, and I got so angry. And there's nothing I could do, and I couldn't hurt the guys, and it's just disgusting. And it's like the opposite of anything I like, and it was this torment that was done to me. So I finally just went a little crazy. I'm not crazy, but you know, I couldn't keep going after her, and she barely, and so I you know, I fantasized about women on the computer. So I don't know what to do about it. And it's just so gross. Like thinking about being with her, I don't know. It's just so, I don't know what to do about it. So that's caused me a tremendous amount of stress. And that she has the kids there, and I don't know how I'll ever get them back or what I'll do. And if I stay, that's if I stay in Roanoke. I know how to get them back, but God knows. I have a plan that I think is going to work. I know I have a plan. You know, I'm pretty good at doing things. I renovated this entire house. I did these big things, so I'm not crazy. And I have a plan to go to California and just get a lawyer, because she's illegally kept them there for, she's illegally kept them there since 2017. In the divorce papers that I never wanted to divorce, I never wanted a divorce that I knew of, and you know, she convinced me to sign the divorce papers. Maybe at one time I thought it would be okay because she kept saying she wanted a divorce and didn't love me. So I signed divorce papers about 10 years ago. And in the divorce documents, it said, the kids are supposed to be at my house for 4 weeks every year at my house. And it says I can see them anytime I miss them. Anytime I miss them. That's what it says in the papers that I signed. I've been talking to lawyers, and she kept them away from me for 6 years almost. Well, it's been more like, she's been doing this since about 2015, since about August of 2015, when we lived in the same town. And so all I have to do, I'm not getting a lawyer here, you know. I'm not getting a lawyer in Virginia. and I work in movies, and it hasn't made enough money here, so I'm just gonna go to California and get a lawyer and make them live in California, because those Texas people aren't gonna torment me anymore, tell me wine of cancer is what he drinks, or in front of the kids. When I went to Texas, I flew all day for 10 hours, suffering on a plane. I didn't want to feel that bad. You know, it wasn't like something fun that I got to do in California that I actually like. You know, it was the thoughts of these people on the plane. You have no idea what you're in for. And I was all happy, or in a fake ecstatic mode, just so I could make it through the plane ride. I was so afraid of going to Texas in her mother and father's place that she, when I got there after flying for 10 hours, I knocked on the door and surprised them, because she had let me stay at their house before that. So I thought, hey, I'll show up and it's Dada, yay, and everything will be okay, and she'll let me in. I'll get to stay in Ivan's room there, and Ivan will stay somewhere else, and I get to sleep in my own little room, not my own little room, but be around them all. You know, that's what I was going for, to be with my kids, and to actually, you know, be with her and the kids. And so when I got there, she wouldn't let the kids answer the door, and she said, "Why are you here? Why are you here?" Started being really mean, and she called the police on me. I was knocking on the door, and they wouldn't answer the door after I flew all day. And the divorce decree says I can see them whenever I miss them. And she had the police show up, and they told me, "Well, you can't be here if she doesn't want you here." But the divorce, well, actually, that's not true, because she illegally did that. And if I start fighting her for myself, I'm not going to hurt her body. I'm not going to ever hurt her body, or ever hurt. I'll never hurt the children. I'll never hurt her. But she has, this entire time, she has taken the children away from me and kept them there. I would never want to take the children away from her. It's just something I couldn't do to her. It'd be so awful. So even in California, when I get a lawyer and get them all to live in California, of course I'll let her see the kid. Of course I'll let her see the kids, and we'll get to, like, you know, raise the kids together. And if she doesn't want to be with me, I want to be with her. I'd like to be with a woman. I'd like to be with a woman. I don't like suffering alone. So she had no right to call the police. So there are all these things. I could write books on all the laws she broke, you know, to keep the children away from me, and cause me all the anxiety and all the depression I ever had was from her and her father, who's a doctor, who they said they wanted to pretend there's something wrong with my brain to put me on medicine, because he's a doctor, so like he could act like he was better than me. But it wasn't that bad. It was something. It wasn't that bad. It was something that I was supposed to do so she didn't feel crazy, because he made her feel like a little, you know, he. Something to make her feel like she wasn't crazy at all, that I was willing to go on the medicine and pretend I was the crazy one. No one ever said there's something wrong with my mind before I met her and her family, you know. And so they kind of had me act that way, or to pretend that the things that I really like the best, the being a lead singer, a rock star, the things I believe in politically, the stuff I believe in politically, the stuff that I like and feel good about being myself, to pretend that was crazy. Like the first real movie I made in Los Angeles, that was a big, you know, that not a big movie, but instead of a short film, it was a feature film, or a real movie. You know, it was an $80,000 budget that I got as a student. It has a celebrity in it, and I made a real movie. And I would talk to her every day about the film, what I was working on, and she was gonna, you know, I was gonna let her produce it with me and be the lead actress. But she just put up a fight the entire time and didn't want to do it, because she wanted creative control, and so she convinced me to call it Crazy Animal, the entire fucking Crazy, you know, and so. I don't know what else to say. I had called it One Nation Under God. It had these, you know, I don't even care anymore. I'd like to be with her and the kids, but if she's making it this awful, I can't do this shit anymore, you know? So there's nothing crazy about me. This is me after drinking like this is coffee. This is coffee. This is me after 4 cups of coffee. I poured a bunch of instant coffee in this, the kind that isn't the bad tasting one. So, you know, it's been so bad what she did, and I just let them do it. And it got to the point where they wanted me to die, and of course, because I was, this house is for sale, but I don't know if maybe I'm supposed to stay here. It was the thoughts that I got from her that made me put the house for sale, because she wanted the money from it, I think. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, because maybe she wants to stay here, but it's just, I can't think of being with her anymore. She has, we haven't been with anyone. I haven't been with anyone for 5 years. She hasn't been with anyone for 3 years. She's been with more men than I've been with women. It's been humiliating and awful. It's been so awful. It's been really bad feeling. And she was the one who first cheated on me, because I lusted after women. I was having like a midlife crisis when I was 30. I think I was 30. Yeah. It was 2007. I was about 30 years old, and I had to move back to a small town, and we started a family. I had to be a real estate agent to pay my bills, and my films weren't making it, or weren't getting there yet. And I had a midlife crisis. And so I started going on the computer, and some girl had a crush on me who I never would have been with in real life. But I felt like somebody loved me and believed in me, because she loved me, but I lusted after people on the computer. A woman and the fake, not really anyone in particular, but just I looked at porn. So she told her mother and father and this other guy there, this other one, and these people in Texas, and they said, "Oh, he can't do that," and and somehow she got the idea that it was okay, and they all acted like it was okay for her to go to Texas, and I went there too. I didn't know what she was going to do, and they kept me at her father's house, but it's not her father's fault. He was like at work or something, and it felt so bad. They're big, rich houses that always look brand new, and so, but I love the baby. I love the baby. I love the baby. So there's nothing I can do about it, that she cheated on me and was with a man. And that was in 2008. And we had been faithful for 8 years in love and trust. We were really good. She didn't even when we did have sex at first, I barely got to do any of that, And the only time we really got to do that the best all the way was when we were trying to make a baby. So we were really good. We were really good. And I had never gone all the way or whatever with a woman until I got to be with her. I didn't have I never had an orgasm from a woman or a girl until when I was a teenager and a young man, and then I met her, and she was the first one I got to do that stuff with. So we were really good, and we did that for the first. We did that, and then I still love her, and I love the kids, but I don't know what I'm going to do because she has the kids. and it feels awful sometimes without them. And she's done this for 7 years. She's done this to me for 7 years. And it's not her fault. It's just, so I don't know. I know what to do. I have a plan that I know God knows is an okay plan. I know God thinks is an okay plan. And the reason why I don't always address the audience straight to the audience is because, I don't really care about being a politician, and I'm an actor and filmmaker and do the entertainment industry stuff. And what they teach you as an actor, if you ever want to do acting, which is different from public speaking, is that you don't really address the camera straight on unless it's a camera technique like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Every other movie, you pretend the camera's not there because you don't want to do bad acting and go, oh, so, hey, how are you playing the drums there? You're my friend. I know you're my friend, and you pretend the camera's not there at all. Because if you make eye contact with the camera, you're like an extra or somebody who didn't know what they're doing. So, you pretend this is really real. There's like, when there are people there and they're doing the acting, and you pretend you're really the character or the actor, and that's how you do acting. You pretend that's really you. The lines there in the screenplay, and the people are there. And once you memorize the lines again and again and again, study it really well, then it's not like you're reading some lines. You actually know what to do really well. So, as an actor, they tell you, don't look at the camera. If you start looking at the camera, pretend you're looking past it and looking at something out the window as you're acting, or else it's bad acting. Even if so I got that down pretty good as an actor. And there are people, I understand why you think when I'm making a video I'm supposed to address the audience, and you're right. For that genre, that's what I'm supposed to do, is address the audience. And that's what I'm doing, is talking to an audience. So I should look at the people and say, hi, this is how I'm talking. It's more like real life, like looking somebody in the eyes. And that's what I'm good at, looking people in the eyes in real life. So I'm kind of exhausted after talking this much, but I'm going to get energy again. I'm going to drink a coffee or something like that. Now I feel pretty good. Now I feel pretty good. Now I feel like happy and good, but I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't do that laughing stuff. But sometimes it's funny. But that's not what this video is really about. And if you look back at this video, you'll see that these are like, so I had white makeup on the other day, and I washed it off. I wiped it off, washed it off. And then I put a little bit more on my face, because have you ever noticed if you have makeup on and you wash it all off, your face looks like a little worse than it did when you had makeup on? I don't know, some stupid thing. So for some reason I look like this. That's why it looks like I still had makeup on, because I had like makeup on for a video. And it's like I get the thoughts of Danica, because she kept the kids away, because the kids are so far away, and it's like almost tormented me. Like I've gotten thoughts of her for about 2 or 3 years, like almost telling me what to do and words to say, like and how to be and things. And it's like some of it I don't understand why, and I had to because I had to honor her because she's still my wife, or was my wife, or I don't know if she's my wife. I think she's my wife, but it's just I can't take it anymore. This distance. Can you imagine being married to someone and you can't stop thinking about them every day? Or most, well, I think there's some way that'll go away, and maybe I'll finally be free from that. But that was the thing she got angry about. I said I wanted to be free when I was younger because I felt like trapped and limited, and having to work at real estate, and that's when the depression started a little bit in 2006, and I couldn't do it anymore. And I asked God to please make the suicidal thoughts go away. I had called a gun shop, was going to kill myself. It only happened for like a couple weeks. It was feeling worse and worse, and then it went away for 3 years or 4 or 5 or 6 years. I was never depressed again. Now, all I had to do is ask God and Jesus for the depression to go away, and I was never I wasn't depressed again. Hi. Hey. Excuse me. And then when she took the kids there, and before that in 2015, I don't know. Does this look like a creepy mouth that has white on it? I had enough of it. I had enough of looking bad. I had enough of feeling bad. I had enough of them trying to get me to accept cancer and die with all my heart and soul, and feeling hurt to my body and still forgiving them and kindness, and having to do stuff like that, other things like that, to have the hope of seeing my children together, where they kept them there, and I had to be put to work on hard labor, and sometimes hiring other men to do the work, which felt so bad. I'd say 40% of the time or 60% of the time it felt so bad, because it was kind of like my mom and dad's money, so he was the boss. It wasn't like me getting to be the real boss and pay people. It was like he was aware of every moment of that, and I had to watch every dollar I spent, or every $10 or $20, and if I spent too much, it could be my health. It could be feeling like the guy who I was hiring to do work was using a weapon to cut into my wife and kids' bodies, and I had to tell him to leave. I just had to tell him to leave if my dad didn't want me to spend $1 more. And it was like just hiring somebody, but he helped me with maybe millions of dollars since I was a baby, maybe $2 or $3 million since $2 million since I was a baby, and it's not that much, but it's what, $40,000 a year or something, or more than that, to go to all those colleges and schools. And I worked for him and my mom, and I did the work to go to all schools. I got a scholarship to one of the best film schools there is from my hard work in school. And then as soon as the school was done, I moved back here and started working for him on homes, or my mom on homes. And people are like jealous of that. People don't like that. They think there's something really good about that. I think they're like, I don't know if that's what the problem is, but maybe that's not what it is. maybe I deserve to feel bad about that. And it feels like her mom is like either about to die, or I don't want to say when. Maybe she'll live really long. I don't know. Maybe she'll live 20 years. And it's up to God and Jesus, but sometimes it feels like I think she's like been traumatized from all she's been through. And she wants to take it easy in her old age, and it's pretty. I think she thinks I had something to do with it. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to do anything bad to her. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why it feels. I don't know. Doesn't it? Or it does. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna go. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Believe in God and Jesus, and you'll be saved. Believe in God and Jesus, and you'll be saved. Okay, do God's work on earth. Doesn't matter if you look really good, like I happen to feel better about how I look this morning or whatever. I don't even know. Maybe it looks okay, but it's not like the best that it could look. But I look a little bit better. But with this facial hair, with the way it grew here, it looks like, oh, that's like, that's not like as perfect as it could be, with a chiseled jaw or something, because the facial hair was really growing in and there's makeup on it. It doesn't matter that much. I look okay. I feel like I look better in this video because I got ready because I actually set up the camera and made sure my face looked better when there's stuff, instead of just randomly. I was supposed to just, for this video, I was supposed to just show up however I was and start filming and tell the truth about it. But I noticed myself not looking as good in the mirror. And since there was already the old makeup that I washed off that was still on my mouth and stuff, I put a little bit on it somewhere so it didn't look as bad. But who cares? I was supposed to just leave it how I was. But that doesn't matter that much. We don't get everything right. The sin messes things up, but we're not supposed to let that mess things up. And I'm going to go, okay. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Bye.